Hey guys, happy Monday. Linda Bomba here. If you're jumping on, guys, tell me where you're coming from. Hope everybody had a good weekend. I'm here actually today. I'm going to talk to you. You can see at the top, I'm going to talk to you today about having 4 levels of communication. And this is really kind of ties in with presenting. I'm going to do another Facebook Live about presenting, because presenting is a skill, and if you can master it, it can pay you for life. And really, there's different forms of presenting. You can do it on a webinar, you can be at a live event and be on stage and presenting. You can be on doing a podcast, you can be doing an audio, a video, something like this, Facebook Live, Periscope. So there's all kinds of presenting, and depending on how you, what you do and how you're doing it. And actually, I do have some notes here because I really kind of want to get in to these in a little bit of detail. But there's 4 levels of communication, and they all tie in with presenting. The first one is talking at people. And it's not something you really want to do with a prospect because it's condescending, and it's almost, I've had a lot of bosses like this, that they're condescending. They talk down to you, like they're better than you, that you're not, that you're not good enough and that kind of thing. And you don't want to present like that. It'll turn people off, it'll repel people from you. And sure, there's some people you can do that with, and and on like a webinar, and actually I'll give you some suggestions for some things that you can do that you can get people more engaged with you, and in a way that you present better, and that you're bringing them more into the thing. And so you don't want to talk at people. That's one. The second one is talking to people. And there's a little bit more engagement with that, and more, it's just not you talking, that the other person is saying something. But it's not like you're really, how do I want to say this, listening to them. You've got more of your own agenda. You want to kind of dominate the conversation. And this isn't really a good way to present. And it's harder on like a webinar, because you're talking, you can unmute people. That's one thing, and let them engage a little. And so you're not talking so much to them, because I've done a bunch of webinars. I did one last night, actually. I had a topic I was teaching on, and I do some different things to try to engage with people. So talking to is the second one, and that's not really the best way to present to people. The third one is talking with them, and that's certainly better than talking at or to, because you're having the person engage more in conversation. You're not doing all the talking, you're letting them talk, which is good, but that's it's better than the other 2, but it's actually, out of the 4 that I'm going to cover here, it's not the best one, because you want to do things and to get people more engaged in the conversation. And like one of the things I do on a webinar is I'll put a post on my Facebook fan page, and I'll have people, as they're jumping on, I'll start a thread. And like last night I was talking about some strategies to use to generate leads, and my post was saying, what would 5 or 10 leads a day do for your business, asking people, come on over and tell me what that would do for you, and comment below, to get people talking, for them to tell you what they need, what one of their pain points are, versus you always talking to them. And talking with them is certainly better, because you're getting them more of it. But the last one, talking into people, is really how you want to present, how you want to speak into the person, you want to edify them, you want to lift them up. And things I do on a webinar, I use people's names. If I see people jumping on, I'll say, hey Susie, hey John. If they ask a question, I've unmuted people to kind of just say, hey, what do you think about this? Is this helpful to you? And let them talk, because when you do that and you talk into people, you're going to get a much better response than the other 3. And you never really want to talk to anybody. You're making them feel that like you're listening, that you're pouring into them, and that's a much better way. I mean, you want to be genuine. You don't want to say things you don't mean, but just using somebody's name on a webinar, giving them a chance to comment, or unmuting them, bringing them out, or doing something like I'm doing, that I start a thread on my Facebook page, and just put a question out there, kind of, relating. You want to make it congruent, like if you're doing a webinar, with what you're talking to. There are much better ways of communicating with people and presenting that you'll get a better response. And I mean, I'm still working in a job. I supervised a lot of people. And I know before I ever got in management, I had a ton of managers that they were condescending. They were stuck up to a certain extent. They just felt like, they could do whatever they wanted, and they would never make a point. I mean, you can't, no matter what, if it's here or you're running a company or department, you need other people. I mean, you can't do things unless you think that you can run a whole company by yourself, or you can run a whole department, and you don't, if you're trying to build an organization and a team in network marketing, you need other people. And the way you talk to people is, I see that so much, not just in this space. I worked with a lot of MDs. They got what I call a sense of entitlement, an attitude that they felt like they could just do what they wanted. I mean, a lot of them, they couldn't keep staff or assistants because they didn't know how to talk to them. I mean, you get a much better response from people if you ask, if you are working or you're supervising people, to ask them nicely to do something versus telling them, because nobody likes to be told what to do. And, these are 4 different kinds of communication I'm going over to. But the bottom line is, I learned a long time ago, some common courtesy and respect when you're dealing with people goes a long way. And it is about respect. I've worked with people that have made a lot of money. They would never flaunt it or throw it in your face. And then other people that, they're highly successful. They made a lot of money, they make a lot of money, and they get an attitude about it. And if you don't value people that you're working with and feel that they have, contributions that they can make to your organization, it's going to be hard to get people to follow you. And when you're presenting, people feel, if you've been around and you've been in the business world at all, I know I interviewed and supervised a lot of people, and it's a skill actually I've been able to bring here, to be able to talk to people and kind of just really, I call it sizing people up. I was just talking to somebody on the phone about that this morning, to size people up. Because if you can learn how to do that and, really kind of just get what people are looking for and what they need, and let them know that that you mean it, that you're not just, be the person who you do what you say you're going to do. People will respect you for it. And a lot of people in business, they can be successful, and they tell people they're going to do something, and then they leave people hanging. People aren't going to want to work with you. I know people that they do that anyway. They still make a lot of money. But, I don't want to be like that. Being wealthy, there are people that are wealthy that they don't treat people like that. So, look at the way you speak to people, whether it's on, something like this, or just face-to-face, or just a conversation on the phone. So just to go over the 4 of these really quick before I go. Talking at, which you don't want to do. Talking to, which you really don't want to do. Talking with them, that's better. You are getting them to engage, but really the one that you really want to do is talking into people. Edify people, bring them up, use their name on a webinar, mute them, let them get into the conversation. Or if they say something or ask a question in chat, acknowledge them. Those are ways, and I've used that on webinars, especially if you're doing webinars, because you do have a topic that you want to get over, and you have a certain amount of time. So that's my Facebook Live for today. I hope you got value out of this. Leave me a comment below. If you have a topic you'd like me to cover, I'm here every day, Monday through Friday, 12 noon Eastern Time, on my fan page, Success with Linda Bamba, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.